Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I am Deepika Mehto, and coming up in the next 30 minutes. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi all set to visit Varanasi, a holy city in the northern state of Uttar Pradesh. He will release 20,000 crore rupees for the farmers. This is his first visit after assuming office for the third consecutive term. Two Democrats in US Congress agreed to a major arms sale to Israel, including 50 F-15 fighter jets worth more than $18 billion, even as US steps up efforts to avoid conflagration in northern front with Hezbollah. Russian President Vladimir Putin to visit North Korea for the first time in 24 years. Visit raises concerns among US allies about military cooperation in violation of UN resolutions. And blockbusters at Euro 2024, Slovakia favourites Belgium, while France earn a hard-fought victory against Austria. Romania announces arrival with a 3-0 victory over Ukraine. A very good morning to all our viewers here on DD India Live. Those were the top headlines, and to begin with the top story of the morning. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit North Indian city of Varanasi on Tuesday. Well, this is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's first visit to his parliamentary constituency since assuming office for the third consecutive term. During the visit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will release the 17th installment of the PM Kisan scheme. Under the scheme, 200 billion rupees will be transferred to over 92.6 million farmers through direct benefit transfer or DBT. The event will also witness the distribution of certificates to more than 30,000 self-help groups trained as Krishi Sakhis to serve as para-extension workers. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also witness Ganga Aarti at Dash Ashwamedhev Ghat. He will also perform puja and darshan at Kashi Vishwanath Temple. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will visit the ruins of Nalanda in Bihar on Wednesday. He will also inaugurate the campus of Nalanda University in Rajgir. The university is conceived as a joint collaboration between India and East Asia Summit countries. The inauguration ceremony will be attended by several eminent people, including the head of mission of 17 countries. India's Home Minister Amit Shah chaired a high-level meeting in New Delhi on Monday to review the security situation in Manipur. The Home Minister did holistic review of security situation in Manipur and directed to ensure that no further incident of violence takes place in the northeastern state. The Home Minister stressed upon strategic deployment of the central forces to restore peace and tranquility in Manipur. He added that the forces will be increased if required. Amit Shah further directed that strict action must be taken as per law against the perpetrators of violence. Home Minister directed Chief Secretary of Manipur to ensure proper health and education facilities for the displaced people and their rehabilitation. India's Road and Transport along with Highways Minister Nitin Gadkari on Monday approved construction of Chetargala Tunnel by the National Highway Authority of India. The tunnel will link Lakhanpur with Doda via Basoli, Bani, Bhadarwa as a national highway, making it a run of just 4 hours. The approval was given by Gadkari at a high-level meeting in Srinagar, chaired by him and attended, among others, by Union Ministers of State in the Prime Minister's Office, Dr. Jitendra Singh, Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha, and senior officers of NHAI, NHI, TCL and the J&K government. Talking to the media, Dr. Jitendra Singh said the work on the National Highway section of Kishtwar-Chatru will also be expedited, which will provide an alternative road connectivity for ease of travel. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi will retain the Raebareli parliamentary seat. Congress Party President Mallikarjun Kharge, during a press conference on Monday, said that Rahul Gandhi has decided to retain the Raebareli parliamentary constituency of Uttar Pradesh and vacate the Wayanad seat of Kerala. His sister Priyanka Gandhi Vatra will contest from Wayanad. Rahul Gandhi had contested and won both Wayanad and Raebareli seats in the 2024 general polls. Meanwhile, Rahul Gandhi said that he has an emotional connect with both Wayanad and Raebareli and will continue to visit Wayanad. Speaking about her electoral debut, Priyanka Gandhi said that she will contest the by-poll from Wayanad, but her decades-old association with Amethi and Raebareli will continue. Priyanka has vowed to fill Rahul's absence in Wayanad. Moving on to updates from Monday's train accident in India's West Bengal. Now, after the completion of restoration work of the Kanchenjunga Express arrived at its destination station Sealtha in Kolkata in the early hours of Thursday, Kanchenjunga Express was hit by a goods train in the Pansideva area of Darjeeling district of Monday. At least 9 people died and over 25 were injured in the accident. All necessary measures were taken to ensure evacuation of all injured at the earliest. Team of doctors, ambulances, food and emergency beds were arranged at the station to check on the passengers. India's Railway Minister Ashwini Vaishnaw visited the incident site and met the injured. He also announced an enhanced ex gratia compensation to the victims. 1 million in case of death and 250,000 towards grievously injured, along with 50,000 for minor injuries. On to weather updates now. The flood situation in the northeast Indian state of Assam turned grim on Tuesday as intense rain continued in several areas. Floodwater has inundated 309 villages in 14 districts, affecting at least 100,000 people. More than 3,000 inmates are presently taking shelter in 14 relief camps in Karimganj, which is the most affected district. The weather department has forecast continued rainfall with thunderstorm over Arunachal Pradesh, Assam, Meghalaya, Nagaland, Manipur, Tripura, Sub-Himalayan West Bengal, Sikkim in the next 5 days. Extremely heavy rainfall is forecast over Assam and Meghalaya today. And now on DD India Live, let's quickly take a look at other stories making news around the country. 3 people, including a 5-year-old boy, died due to electrocution and 2 suffered burn injuries after their motorcycle came in contact with a high-tension power cable in Lakhimpur city of Uttar Pradesh. Officials in the Mangan district of Sikkim rescued a total of 64 tourists as unfavorable weather persisted in the northeast Indian state. Officials included personnel from Police Department, Forest Border Road Organization, National Disaster Response Force, State Disaster Response Force. India's Department of Telecommunication announced 2 significant calls for proposals aimed at catalyzing innovation and technological advancement in the sector. The proposals include 5G intelligence village and quantum encryption algorithm. As Team India plays at the T20 Cricket World Cup in New York, fans at home cheered for them in a unique way. In the city of Udaipur, more than 500 kites were flown in the sky with the theme of India will win. Bringing you some other updates from international arenas. Now, in a widely expected move, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has dissolved the 6-member war cabinet. The move following the departure from government of centrist former General Benny Gantz. Now, Netanyahu is expected to hold consultations about the Gaza war with a smaller group of ministers. The move was announced as U.S. Special Envoy Amos Hochstein visited Jerusalem, seeking to calm the situation on the disputed border with Lebanon, where Israel said tensions with the Iran-backed Hezbollah militia were bringing the region close to a wider conflict. The forum was formed after Gantz joined Netanyahu in a national unity government at the start of the conflict in October. Gantz left the government last week over what they said was Netanyahu's failure to form a strategy for the conflict. U.S. Special Envoy Amos Hochstein arrived in Israel on Monday and met with Israeli leaders in an attempt to avoid further escalation between Israel and Lebanon. Hochstein met with Israeli President Isaac Herzog and Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in Jerusalem to advance efforts to avoid further escalation along the blue line between Israel and Lebanon. Israel's army on Sunday said that 5,000 rockets had been fired from Lebanon into Israeli territory since the 7th of October. Army spokesperson Rear Admiral Daniel Hagari warned that Hezbollah was bringing Israel to the brink of what could be a wider escalation, one that could have devastating consequences for Lebanon and the entire region.
Hezbollah's increasing aggression is bringing us to the brink of what could be a wider escalation, one that could have devastating consequences for Lebanon and the entire region. Hezbollah is jeopardizing the future of Lebanon so that it can be a shield for Hamas, a shield for the Hamas terrorists, the one that murdered the elderly, raped women, burned children, and kidnapped Jews, Muslims, and Christians during their massacre on October 7th. When we say that we will not let October 7th happen again on any one of our borders, we mean it.
Two key Democrats in the U.S. Congress have agreed to support a major arms sales to Israel that includes 50 F-15 fighter jets worth more than $18 billion. Representative Gregory Meeks and Senator Ben Cardin have signed off on the deal under heavy pressure from the Biden administration after the two lawmakers had for months held up for the sale. Biden has come under increasing pressure from members of his own Democratic Party over his unstinting support to Israel. Biden has pressed both Israel and Gaza in the conflict to reach a ceasefire. European Union leaders ended without a political agreement on appointments to the European Union's top jobs on Monday. European Union leaders ended the discussion on who should take the bloc's top job for the next 5 years without an agreement, aiming instead for a decision at a summit next week. It was the first physical meeting between leaders since the European elections. The European Union's 27 national leaders discussed who should run the powerful European Commission executive body, who should chair the European Council meetings, and who should take the post of foreign policy chief. They had been widely expected to nominate Ursula von der Leyen of Germany for a second term as EU chief, Portuguese ex-premier Antonio Costa as the Council president, and Estonian Prime Minister Kaja Kallas as the top diplomat. It's now time to take a short break on DD India Live, but still to come on the other side. Campaigning kicks off for France's snap parliamentary election, which is to be held in 2 rounds on 30th of June and the 7th of July. T20 Cricket World Cup Super 8s to begin from Wednesday. South Africa to face host USA in first encounter. And ahead of International Yoga Day, we bring you exclusive reports on importance and benefits of yoga in everyday life. Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India Live with me, Deepika. Now, Russian President Vladimir Putin is starting his Asia tour. On Tuesday and Wednesday, he will visit North Korea for the first time in 24 years. Ahead of the trip, the DPRK leader called Russia an invincible ally. The West says it has fears that Pyongyang provides Moscow with badly needed munitions to fuel Putin's military effort in Ukraine in exchange for economic assistance and technology transfers for Kim's nuclear weapons and missile program. Putin will next go to Vietnam. Tasha Chernyshova has more from Moscow.
Kremlin says Moscow and Pyongyang may sign a strategic partnership agreement as part of Vladimir Putin's trip to the DPRK. Russian president is traveling to North Korea this week for a friendly state visit. It will be the second meeting between Putin and the DPRK leader Kim Jong-un in 9 months, as the two countries deepen their ties. The visit will last for 2 days, with Moscow vowing to foster cooperation with Pyongyang in all areas. The Kremlin says the two sides have a very extensive potential for further development of ties. In the West, however, there are fears of these deepening relations involving an arms arrangement, something that Moscow and Pyongyang have repeatedly denied. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov said Moscow has the right to develop good relations with its neighbors, and that should not cause any concern to anyone, cannot and should not be disputed. Russian Foreign Intelligence Chief Sergei Naryshkin also said that Putin's visit to North Korea has been well prepared and will bring good results. After the DPRK, Putin will head to Hanoi at the invitation of Vietnam's Communist Party chief. Putin will meet Vietnamese officials to further develop comprehensive strategic partnership between Russia and Vietnam in trade, economic, scientific, technological and humanitarian areas. Dasha Chernyshova reporting in Moscow for DD India.
Now, NATO Chief Jens Stoltenberg was in Washington for the preparations for next month's NATO summit in the U.S. Capitol on Monday. He met U.S. President Joe Biden at the White House to discuss a more consistent funding plan for Ukraine to avoid future delays in aid. Stoltenberg said more than 20 NATO members will meet the alliance's target of allocating at least 2% of GDP to defense this year.
Discuss the upcoming NATO summit here in Washington next month, where we will celebrate the 75th anniversary of the most successful alliance in history, NATO, but also where we take important decisions for the future, not least on defense spending. And I shared with the President the new numbers we have, showing that this year 23 allies will spend 2% of GDP or more on defense, which is twice as much as just 4 years ago, and demonstrates that more and more allies are now really stepping up and investing more in our security.
Now, following comments by NATO's chief that the military alliance was holding talks on deploying more nuclear weapons, White House National Security spokesperson John Kirby said it would be irresponsible not to have those talks.
Look, NATO is a defensive alliance, and NATO countries are some of the most sophisticated in the world when it comes to military capabilities, and it would be irresponsible and imprudent if we weren't constantly talking to our NATO allies about how to make sure we can meet our commitments to one another across a range of military capabilities. And that's as far as I'll go.
As campaigning kicked off for France's snap parliamentary election, supporters and party leaders gathered for the French left-wing alliance's first rally on Monday in Montreal near Paris. Political parties representing the French left wing reached an agreement on the 12th of June to form a popular front to contest the snap parliamentary election that will be held over the coming month. Now, Iran's presidential candidates held their first televised debate on Monday ahead of the upcoming snap elections later this month. Iran is due to conduct snap elections on the 28th of June after the death of President Ibrahim Raisi in a helicopter crash. Iran's Guardian Council, that oversees elections and legislation, has approved 6 candidates to run On the list are Mohammad Bakir Khalibaf, Iran's hardline parliament speaker Saeed Jalili, who was former chief nuclear negotiator, and Tehran's conservative mayor Ali Reza Zakani. Thousands of Colombian teachers and their supporters marched on Monday in Bogota against an education reform that is underway in Congress. The protesters claimed the planned reform would undermine teachers' rights and the integrity of the public education system. The strike, led by the major teachers' union, FICUD, walked to the Congress building in the Bolivar Square as teachers and protesters held Colombian flags and banners opposing the bill. And now in DD India Live, let's get you all the updates on the International Yoga Day, which is to be celebrated on the 21st of June. From relieving stress to reducing heart disease risk factors, yoga's health benefits are plenty. DD India's Anu Kaushik gets you more in this report.
Regarded as a holistic approach to health, yoga has a history of thousands of years. Practicing yoga leads to both physical and mental well-being. Yoga improves strength, balance, and flexibility by warming up muscles and increasing blood flow. It also helps reduce back pain. Yoga benefits people who have stiff joints due to arthritis by improving mobility.
योग एक ऐसी चीज़ है जो हमारे मेंटल हेल्थ को इम्प्रूव करता है और जब आपकी मेंटल हेल्थ अच्छी होगी और इन्फ्लेमेशन भी कम होगा जॉइंट में तो आपकी सोशल हेल्थ भी इम्प्रूव होगी.
Yoga plays a role in controlling heart disease risk factors like high blood pressure and cholesterol. It also has a positive impact on the respiratory system as it helps in clearing air passages in the lungs. On the mental health front, yoga curbs anxiety by reducing levels of stress hormones in the body. Including yoga in your daily routine also helps reduce weight, improve sleep cycle, decrease burnout, and boost overall immunity. Though it originated in India, yoga's merits have been acknowledged across the globe. Its proponents include the World Health Organization.
India has a rich history of traditional medicine through Ayurveda, including yoga, which has been shown to be effective in alleviating pain.
Be it lowering risk of serious ailments or improving the quality of life, yoga has something beneficial for everyone. Anu Kaushik's report for DD India.
On to sporting action now, Slovakia secured a narrow 1-0 victory over Belgium in the first upset of the European Championship on Monday. Ivan Sashran scored Slovakia's quickest goal at a major tournament to take his side to a victory over Belgium. It was Belgium's first loss in 16 games under coach Domenico and a flashback to their calamitous 2022 World Cup campaign on a day when whatever could go wrong in the Group E encounter did, though much of their misfortune was self-inflicted. France ground out at 1-0 victory over Austria on Monday as an own goal by defender Maximilian Fuber gave Didier Deschamps charges an unconvincing victory in their Euro 2024 opener. Kylian Mbappe burst clear shortly after the break, but the France captain fired wide and came off in the 90th minute after a clash of heads that left him bleeding from the nose. In Group E opener on Monday, Romania turned in a high-octane performance to win its first European Championship match in 24 years with an emphatic 3-0 victory over Ukraine. In cricket, the Super 8 phase of the ICC Men's T20 Cricket World Cup is all set to begin from Wednesday onwards, with South Africa taking on co-host United States of America in North Sound, Antigua. India will play against Afghanistan on the 20th of June in Barbados's capital, Bridgetown. In the other encounter, West Indies are all set to face reigning champion England in St. Lucia's Cross Island. The Super 8 matches will be played till the 25th of June. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can connect with us on DD India mobile app that gets you all the latest from across the country and the world. For more, keep watching DD India that brings you all the latest news and updates from the country and the world. Thank you so much for joining us right now. Namaskar.